Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Dean Macpherson, is hosting the 2025 Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium in Cape Town. The event brings together key stakeholders, experts and decision makers in the field of infrastructure development. This will include infrastructure investment opportunities, with President Cyril Ramaphosa expected to deliver a keynote address. Well, SABC News Economics reporter Katlego Legodi is in Cape Town and joins us live now. Good afternoon, Katlego. Now, infrastructure is a broad term. What specific sectors or areas in the symposium will be focused on?
A very good afternoon to you, Juliet. I'm hoping that you can hear me that side, but we just stepped out of a meeting right now. It was a closed meeting with Minister Dean Macpherson. He's hosting various of those delegates, not just from here, South Africa alone, but we have the continent here well represented. So there's a forums leaders meeting that will talk about infrastructure, putting that under the spotlight. Remember, it was in the latest Budget 3.0 when we had of over R1 trillion that will go into infrastructure, and some of those projects will have to come from here. This coming through at a time when there is just a push to ensure that there's infrastructure development. President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his State of the Nation address as well, gave us a sense that he would want for South Africa to turn into a construction site that will come through with well-needed jobs, but also projects of development that will really come through in terms of ensuring that there's the delivery of adequate services. I'm going to bring him into the conversation now. Minister Macpherson will just give us a sense of really where we find ourselves right now. I know that last year there were multiple of these projects that were announced. I think about 200 of those projects that were announced, and we're talking at billions that have been going into investment where these projects are concerned, but also looking at development at large, sustainable development. That is why we find ourselves here. Welcome to the SABC, Minister. Just stepping out of a meeting of the forum's leaders. Let's start there, reflect on that, and then we'll come back to get a sense of how this meeting then ties with the entire symposium. Welcome.
Thank you. This morning, 14 ministers from across the African continent met to discuss how we can integrate infrastructure development to have a common approach and common purpose, so that we can drive regional and continental integration that boosts our economies and creates jobs. So a very good meeting. A real commitment with determined outcomes, agreed outcomes of how we move forward. We also had a number of South African ministers attending, as well as premiers, and seeing how we can bring collaboration together between the South African government and governments across Africa, because it's my belief, and indeed our collective belief, that just to develop singularly in a continent like Africa that has immense potential, growing populations, would be foolhardy. We also view Africa as being the next frontier of infrastructure, global infrastructure development, connecting countries, building new ports, building new railways, and working together in that regard. That also offers South African companies immense opportunities as well to broaden their reach into construction across the continent.
Let's talk about the importance then of the symposium. I know President Cyril Ramaphosa will be giving a keynote address, but last year there were those commitments that were made here of projects. Yesterday you were at the wastewater plant, treatment plant here in Cape Town, just looking at this project in terms of how it's going. Let's take it from there. The commitments that were made last year, where are we?
There have been very good developments in those regards. There have been some that have not progressed at the pace that we would like. And that's why this symposium is so focused on project preparation and project preparation financing, because we have seen, and the empirical evidence is there now to say, that unless projects are adequately prepared and packaged and that the money exists to do that, and there's a high likelihood that projects are not going to take off. So that's one of the key themes that we are bringing out of here today. We have seen a commitment of 600 million rand to project preparation and financing through Infrastructure South Africa. So we are playing our part in conjunction with partners in the National Treasury and other departments to make sure that those projects that come to fruition are credible, are bankable, and can get going from day one. So tomorrow we'll also be announcing our new top 8 projects that have been a subject of this new financing that we have made available for project preparation. We'll also be unveiling the second version of the construction book. These are projects that are ready to go and finance. We have also committed to, you'll recall, that we are also actively seeking 100 billion rand of private sector investment that we as the department are going out to seek from private markets. So this is really about an all-of-government approach. It's about working together, and it's about making sure that South Africa turning into a construction site is not just a catchy slogan, but it's actually a plan to ignite our economy, grow our economy, and create jobs, not just in construction, but in all of those service-related industries as well. So it's mission critical for us. This is what we work day and night to do. We are making progress. Is it enough? It will never be enough. But we really want to ramp up that scale of construction and development. And SIDS SA is a key catalyst in bringing together the top minds from around the country, Africa, and the world to continue to get behind that momentum.
And just for people watching at home, there were projects that have stalled, and I know very well that you have started a war room of some sort in terms of tackling the challenges around the construction mafia. So as we are talking about some of these issues and rolling out projects and ambitions, how do we ensure that those that are sitting at home do get these projects in their finality and there are services that are adequately delivered without them being hampered by a clinic that has not been completed, by a library that since is dilapidated, by roads that are filled with potholes, and there's a lot in terms of infrastructure lapses and deterioration that we've seen over time. How do we do it different going forward?
Well, one of the things I took our ministers through today is the Special Projects Unit that we've launched in collaboration with partners, and how we think that that can turbocharge infrastructure projects so that they get ahead of time and on budget. And that's why going to the Potsdam wastewater treatment plant in the city of Cape Town was so encouraging, because we see how that project is actually running ahead of schedule and absolutely bang on budget. And I think that there's a lot that we can learn from how that project was put together. Indeed, municipal infrastructure is a crisis in this country, and that's why we have launched the Adopt a Municipality pilot project that we are currently running in and through Infrastructure South Africa, that works with municipalities to get their infrastructure planning and coordination right. So we're actually putting funding towards that, and in 24 months' time we'll be able to show the results of that. Just in those 3 municipalities, we've got 24 projects that we're working with them on. That's valued at 3.5 billion rand. Now, that's a lot of money for local municipalities, small municipalities. So it just shows that when we work with them, we're not there to take over their jobs or their responsibilities, but when we work and we partner together, we can deliver those results a lot quicker and in bigger scale. And that's what we also hope to show, and we will expand on tomorrow when the President gives his keynote address at the Symposium.
All right. Minister Macpherson, thank you very much for your time. The Public Works and Infrastructure Minister, Dean Macpherson, just telling us about the plans that are in the pipeline, but also taking stock of where we find ourselves right now. The President will give that keynote address. We have Salga here, Premiers here, Panyaza Lesufi, Gauteng here. Most of them just looking at ensuring that at least we do get a move where infrastructure development is concerned.